I'm Michael Boldick, and I'm a strategist, and I use strategies to help people solve difficult problems and achieve their goals faster than they ever imagined before. And today we're going to talk about something called a verbal package, and if you don't know what that is, I'll explain to you in a minute. But a verbal package basically is the concept of when you're having a conversation with somebody, how to avoid the confusion, how to avoid the miscommunication, how to avoid not being understood. So instead, where you communicate with total clarity, because clarity is power. Quality of your communication is the response that you elicit. Now let me share a story with you first about how this really changed my life. The verbal package is the essence of the meta model, which was based on modeling Virginia Satir, which was one of the most successful worldwide family therapists. And her strategy of helping these people who had difficulty in their relationship was all about making sure that each couple understood each other rather than the miscommunication. Because what she figured out is that when people have problems, it's usually because there's some kind of miscommunication between both people. So how do we resolve that communication breakdown? And we're going to start off by explaining to you step by step, which is a 3-step process of how to communicate with total clarity so you can get the response, elicit the response that you want in your communication with other people. Now, step 1 is you need to really understand the intention of the other person. Because at the core of everything that we do, we always have a positive intention when we communicate with other people. So all communication has some positive intention. And we'll make sure when you communicate to somebody to answer this question: what is the intention of that person's communication to me? And if you understand that everyone has a positive intention, then you can start looking for what is that positive intention that they have. What is their motivation basically for communicating to you? Once you understand somebody's intention, you already understand a large part of what they're trying to say to you. Because whenever two people communicate together, one encodes a message, sends it to the other person, and then the other person decodes that message. So they have an intention, they're sending that intention to you, and you're decoding it. Now, once you understand their intention, then you immediately go to step number 2. Now, step number 2 is where a lot of problems happen in their day-to-day communication or in that conversation with another person. And it's when someone does not specify clearly enough what they're saying. They might say, people are generally, very lazy in our company, okay? So that was what we call the generalization. One is how to identify verbs and nouns that are not specified. So unspecified verbs and unspecified nouns. And when you get an unspecified verb or noun, like you say, some people, many people in our company are, let's say, lazy, what we want to do is identify who specifically are those people. And that is what we called, a meta model question for unspecified noun. Who specifically in our company is lazy? And that's how you clarify and you get more specific. Because the more general you are, the more you generalize in your communication, then the more confused you get. Whereas the more specific, then the better the quality of your communication is going to be. Now, the other one is going to be verbs. So, for example, somebody says, I procrastinate. Then you say, well, how specifically are you procrastinating? That's the question. How specifically? So it's either who specifically, what specifically, or how specifically. And those are the 3 questions you want to ask to make sure you get specific about the conversation that you're having with the other person. And the 3rd step to using the verbal package, once you know their intention, once you clarify the unspecified verbs and nouns by asking what specifically, who specifically, and how specifically, then the next step is you want to paraphrase what the other person said to you. Now, paraphrasing is you use your own words and you just say, okay, here's what I think you're telling me, and then you just go through the major points of that conversation, and then you get confirmation by asking, is that correct? Do I understand you the right way? Is that what you meant? Now, 2 things can happen when you paraphrase and confirm. They may say, no, that's not what I meant, and they may need to clarify to you, or they will say, yes, that's exactly what I meant. In that case, what you've done is you've got a much better communication with the other person. Now, just practicing the verbal package can make a huge difference in the quality of communication that you have with other people. So I really encourage you to start using these 30 steps today. This is Michael Boldick signing off saying you can do it to your success and happiness. Bye for now.